Hey, it's Free Concert Friday. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Sermon on the Mount, and that's found in Matthew 5 and Luke 6. So at Free Concert Friday, we'll do meditation and then we'll do a song and then we're done. If you have any comments, you could go ahead and comment at the bottom. We do this every Friday and I post at 9 p.m. So this is just our little time together before the weekend. So the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus wasn't always welcome in the synagogues. So he would often teach his disciples and the large crowds which gathered outside in the open air. Let's stop there. Jesus Christ was not welcome. That's probably because he was angry that day and he threw stuff around and threw tables, maybe. I don't know. So don't be upset if synagogues and other religious institutions kick you out or don't like you. I mean, maybe it's for a good reason. That's all I'm trying to say. One of the most important talks he gave was on a mountain near Capernaum. It has become known as the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus taught the people about what was truly important in life and gave comfort and advice. So let's see what Jesus says is important in life. How happy. So happiness is important. I grew up in a very traditional, both parents in the home, religious home, both parents are pastors, and both parents are professionals. They're both pharmacists, and they're both entrepreneurs. So to be honest with you, I didn't grow up in a house that really talked much about what is happiness, what makes you happy, what do you want to do to be happy, are you happy? Happy wasn't really something that was discussed. And I don't mean that to say anything negative about my parents or my upbringing, but that's just a reality. We were taught a lot about the Bible, about the word, the ways of God, about who God is, about the human body, about the human spirit, about the human soul, but not much about happiness and joy and peace. It wasn't talked about a lot. But here we see that it's important to Jesus. So as I've gotten older and now I'm on my own, and now that I'm a mother and I'm also a wife, but at this time we're going through, unfortunately, a divorce. But even as a wife and a mother, I found that my happiness wasn't a priority, but it should be. So moving forward now in my life, it's a priority to me. It's not something that I'm willing to sacrifice. It's not. So happy are the poor and those who are sad or who have been badly treated. Interesting. Happy are the poor and those who are sad or who have been badly treated. I've been badly treated, I've been sad. I've been, quote unquote, poor. Those who are humble, I've been humbled many times, gentle and kind. People have always said that I'm gentle and kind, but I have a bad side, I must admit. I'm not always gentle and kind. Sometimes there's a tiger that comes out. Not even a lion, a tiger. And those who try to do the right thing. I try to do the right thing. Happy. Maybe that's the reason why I'm so happy. Because people say that I'm very happy. Now. But for a long time, I wasn't happy. Growing up, I was a very happy child. For the most part, I was a very happy child. Happiness was, I found my happiness with playing. It's the same as my daughter. My daughter loves to play. And so I found my happiness mostly with playing. And I used to like to play with boys, play with my friends, my girlfriends in school. And I just love to play. I used to love to play sports. I love to play board games. I love to play trivia games. I just love to play. It makes me happy. It takes my mind off of a lot because sometimes I overthink. Okay, back to the story. For all these people will be rewarded in heaven. The poor, those who are sad, those who have been treated badly, those who are humble, those who are gentle, those who are kind, those who try to do the right thing. He said, try. Sometimes you don't always get it right, but try to do the right thing. It matters to God. They will be comforted and know great joy. Great joy. You want to know great joy? Be one of those things or all of those things. Those who have been merciful will receive mercy. This is a golden rule, or this is the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. So if you want mercy, you have to give mercy. If you want love, you have to give love. If you want help, you have to give help. So sometimes you see Jesus just emphasizing something that's a command that God gave in the New Testament, in the Old Testament. He's just reiterating the same thing. It's the same thing as saying, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But just in this case, he's talking about mercy. Those who have been merciful will receive mercy, and God will look kindly on those who have tried to keep the peace, for they are truly his children. If you don't like peace, are you really his child? Think about it. Something my daughter says too. Think about it. Peace is important. Peace keeps you grounded. Life can be so chaotic. And sometimes, well, I find that a lot of times when you go through one thing, it's like two things that come right after it that cause confusion and destruction and pain and heartache. It's like it comes in threes. You know, people say that, but I've lived that. A couple of times I've lived that it comes in threes. So I try to keep the peace with as many people as you can. I try my best to do that. And sometimes it's hard to run away from people because it's like they're following you to cause confusion. They will follow you to cause frustration and to try to see if they can get you to be angry. I've experienced that in my life. For they are truly his children. So be glad when people are mean to you and say nasty things about you because of me, because of Jesus. Not because you're a bad person. At that time, people change now. People change, and people can make better choices in their lives. If you're bad at one point in your life, don't allow people to hold that against you for the rest of your life. And don't feel like you're not allowed good things because you was bad or because you're bad. Because guess what? In the Bible it says it rains on the just and the unjust. Jesus died for everyone that was against him, for him and against him, following his laws and not following his laws. He's available to everyone. So don't allow people to make you feel like you don't deserve something good because you did bad things. There's redemption for everyone. Okay? But specifically, he is saying that if they say bad things and nasty things about you because of me, don't worry. A great reward is waiting for you in heaven. And for people who believe, if you believe in heaven and you believe that the Bible is true, you believe in Jesus Christ, then you should know that if people say nasty things and talk bad about you, even sometimes it's your friends. Sometimes your friends do that. Honestly and truthfully, I've experienced that. And I'll be honest with you, I was one of those people that had said something about my friend that was not a good thing. And I had to apologize. And there was a time when I didn't apologize either. I just ended the friendship. So, I'm not speaking as the person who was just a victim. I was also the perpetrator. Is that correct? For a great reward is waiting for you in heaven. So that's very encouraging for me, that there is a great reward that is waiting for me, even though all these bad things has happened to me. And I can honestly say I've experienced most of what Jesus is talking about here on the Sermon on the Mount, and I am a much happier person. I am a much happier person. I've been in a place of my life when I was away from home, when I didn't have anybody and I didn't have much money. There was a time that I was in China. I taught English in China, and we were on New Year's break. It was in China, they celebrate their New Year and everything shuts down basically. So that was the time of year, and it was February or so. And the company that I went with to teach with, it was a group of us. I didn't go alone by myself. We went to Chiang Mai. We went to Chiang Mai for a conference. While I was there, I was at the airport. No, I was at the airport taking a flight to Phuket. And while on the flight, while in the airport, I did something that wasn't smart. And I placed my money bag inside of my backpack. And I placed my money bag inside the backpack, and the backpack went through the security scanner, and they could see what was in it. Well, when it went through the scanner, the money was in there. And when I picked up my bag, I walked off. It looked the way that it wasn't open or anything. So I didn't think that somebody moved the money, and all of my money was in there. And I went to get something to eat, and I opened my backpack. This is about 10 minutes after it happened, after the security checkpoint. I went to get something to eat. The money bag was gone. And when I tell you, that was everything I had. It was everything that I had. I learned from that, do not put all your eggs in one basket or your money. It's a problem. Wisdom would have told me, put some in my shoe, put some here, some ladies like to put it here, put some, excuse me, sorry. I'm sorry. Put some, in your sock, in your shoe. I put all the money in the money bag. Oh! And that wasn't the ending of the trip. So I had to, like I said, I was there with a group, but they weren't family or friends or anything. We spent some time together, but thankfully I was with someone that I knew, and they fronted some money for me, and I had to pay them back later. But I had to call my father, and my father and my mother, they sent me some monies until I went back to China. So, oh my goodness. So I say that to say, I have experienced what it felt like to have nothing at all. And that wasn't even a place that there was other times now that has happened lately that it was just, there was nothing. I had $0 to my name, zero. And I had to rely on people that I didn't know, people that didn't really know me. They didn't really have it, but thankfully they helped me because it was an unfortunate situation. But wisdom should have been exercised. And from then on, I don't have one bank for my money. I don't have one card. I don't have one job. There's nothing one. There has to be more than one. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what I learned in that. And when I travel, I use cards. 1. 2, when I travel, if I have cash, I put the cash on me. And yes, so I felt in that moment, that was one time I felt like I had nothing, like I was absolutely poor. although I could call and get some help, I had absolutely nothing. And it's not a good feeling because you have to rely on the kindness of people. And sometimes people are not kind, you know, and in those situations too, you have to, for me, I pray and I ask God to help me. And whenever I get into situations, I ask God to help me because I'm learning that we can't hope and pray that people will be kind and gentle and be considerate and compassionate and empathetic. We have to first use wisdom. We have to use wisdom. We have to use discernment. We have to do everything that we can to ensure that we're not put into positions like the one that I was put in. I put myself in that position. Stealing is wrong. But in life, you have to have wisdom. It's a principal thing. And that's just a life lesson. But that was my example of quote unquote poor, because of course there are people who are in absolute poverty, and that's poor also, but it's like a lower level of poor, and I have never experienced absolute poverty, and by the grace of God I won't, and nor my children or grandchildren moving forward. So that was a good one. I like that. Let's do a quick little song after the Sermon on the Mount. Next time we're going to do a story about Jesus again. We might as well keep that up. So this song is called I've Got My Mind Made Up. It's like a Christian song, but it's the island version of it. I've got my mind made up and I won't turn back, because I want to see my Jesus someday. I've got my mind made up and I won't turn back, because I want to see my Jesus someday. I've got my mind made up and I won't turn back, because I want to see my Jesus someday. I've got my mind made up and I won't turn back, because I want to see my Jesus someday.